Hello, and welcome to a video tutorial on how to utilize our Blackboard course this year for 8th grade American history. The Blackboard course will be used by all of the 4 teachers that will be teaching 8th grade American history and all 8th grade students attending Westside Middle School. So you're going to find links and other pieces on here for some of the other teachers and other classes this year. So the purpose of this tutorial is to kind of help you navigate a little bit of where to find things specifically for my class, but also some other resources that are just general resources for all students at Westside Middle School. When you log into Blackboard and you select the American History 8 course, this will be the first page you will see loaded up along with our banner. It'll say welcome to U.S. History. Below here are places where you will see announcements for the different teachers for the 4 different teams. Students in the 8A Patriots team, so my students, Mr. Mosier's students, this is where you will find announcements posted, things that are going on for that particular unit. Over here on the left-hand side are various links that you will access to get different resources and materials that you'll need throughout the course of the year. The top sections here, I'm going to highlight a couple of the ones that you need to be aware of. The very first one here is the textbooks section. This is where you will go to access your online textbook for 8th grade American history. Remember, all students can check out a printed book to take home throughout the course of the year. However, all students also have access to the online textbook. To access the online textbook, you will click on the link here to open up the Holt McDougall's website, and you will need to log in using either this username and password, Westside3 Warriors 11, or you may also try the secondary password and username if the first one does not work for you. There are some suggested textbook readings that you can also look at that will go along with each of the different units of study. Some of these pages we will be assigning as teachers for you to read. Some of the other ones, though, we may not necessarily assign you as specific readings, but would be great supplemental resources for students who are struggling or need additional information. I also have links to Brain Pop videos that are a subscription-based service of these short little video clips from Tim and Moby that are also very helpful resources to help students who need additional assistance or help or to review key concepts that we are teaching in class. They do require a username and password to log in, and those are listed on the site here as well. Underneath the textbook section is one called U.S. History Vocabulary. This is a massive glossary of some of the vocabulary terms that we'll be using in 8th grade American history. As you can see, it has a glossary of well over 300 terms. So as you are studying this year in American history and you're coming across terms that you are not quite familiar with, you can use this glossary to help you find those definitions, to help you study, help you review, and help you learn this year in 8th grade American history. And again, they are all done in alphabetical order, and you can also get to a specific term if you click on the letter. So if I look up the letter H's, here are all the terms with H: habeas corpus, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and homesteaders, the term and the definition. Again, a very useful resource to help you out this year in finding vocabulary terms of the different things that we will be studying throughout the course of this year in American history. Underneath U.S. History Vocabulary is American History Video on Demand. This is a link that will take us to our History Video on Demand website. These are videos that we show in class, so if students miss a video we showed in class, they can go to this website to still access that video. These videos work best in Safari, and students do have to log in using their PowerSchool ID and their PowerSchool password to access this website. Again, these videos play best in Safari's web browser. So if you're a Chrome user, make sure you use Safari to access those websites. And then general websites down below here will open up into a new tab. As you can see, it generated a new tab here for us. And these are just general websites to help students out throughout the course of the year. There's some general ones towards the top, but there's also folders of some of the different topics in American history, which have a wide variety of websites and resources and games, things that you can go to help supplement what you're learning in your class, review the things you're learning in class, or to maybe even go above and beyond some of the things that you're learning on in your class. So the very first section here, up here to the very top, are kind of general links that all 8th grade students will have a need to access. Below here, however, are the specific links for my students. So students that are on Team 8A, the Patriots team, these are the links that you will be using for my class. The first one's called FAQ Mosher, which is for frequently asked questions. This will have the class procedures presentation that I gave on the very first day of class. So if you need to go back and check things such as grading, supplies, class expectations, participation, attendance, there are copies of the presentations that I gave there that you can click and download to view. There's also a general overview of the class in terms of the things that we will be studying, and there's also a copy of the syllabus that I handed out on the first day of class as well. The next link here is called Bellringers Mosher. This is where students will complete their daily Bellringers. Bellringers are questions that I'll ask at the beginning of class that students will respond to, and they'll be writing the responses on my Blackboard site. So, for example, if I'm a student in Mr. Mosher's first period class, we will be logging into Blackboard and clicking on Bellringers, and then I will select Mosher Period 1 Bellringers to type in my response to that day's Bellringer. To create a journal entry or create my post, I'll click on Create Journal Entry to type into the response to today's Bellringer question. For the title, I'll type in what the subject is for that day, and I will type in my response. Some Bellringers will be kind of questions of things that we've been covering in class, just a way to review some key vocabulary, key concepts that we've been discussing, and sometimes Bellringers will be kind of open, reflective responses about things that we will be studying soon, or things that we have been talking about that I kind of want you to reflect on. Bellringers are private. Only the student who writes the Bellringer and the teacher can view them, so nobody else in class can view these. Once you've typed in your Bellringer response for the day, you'll click on the button titled Post Entry, and that will submit that to your Bellringer. And then once those have been posted, you will see the Bellringers for the one that you just posted, as well as other Bellringers from previous days. And each week it'll take your Bellringers and will index them over here on the right-hand side. I will be checking your Bellringers on Fridays at the end of the week to see how you are progressing in your learnings of American history. The assignments button for Mosher, which is this link right here, will take you to where you will find all the assignments for my class. Currently, there is nothing in here. However, there will be items placed in here eventually where you will access any of the classwork, any of the projects, writing assignments that you will be completing throughout the course of the year. This is also where you will be submitting those assignments to me as well. I'll be doing a future video tutorial on walking you through the procedures of turning in your electronic assignments. All assignments will be turned into me through Blackboard. You will never email me assignments. They always will be submitted on Blackboard under this assignments button. And again, I will have a tutorial again later on showing you how this will be done. The next button, Weekly Agenda, is where you can find out what's happening in my class on a given day. There are directions here on how to subscribe to my weekly calendar so that it automatically downloads to the calendar on your school-issued laptop. If I keep scrolling down, however, I will also have access to my Google Calendar, which will keep the learning goal, the classwork, and the homework. You can click on the title of the learning goal, and a window will pop up, and it'll give you the classwork and the homework for that particular day. And again, you will also be subscribing to my calendar as well on the calendar on your laptop. The directions on how to do this are listed here. I will also be creating a tutorial later on to walk you through that process. The next item here is Notes and Resources for Mosher. This is where you will access things such as copies of notes, flashcards, vocabulary review, possibly practice tests, study guides, website resources, some of the things that you might need specifically for this class. I have some general helpful tools in terms of studying for tests, studying for notes that you can look to as well. But for each topic or unit of study, there will be a folder for that will have a lot of the different notes and resources you'll need for that unit. Our first unit this year is on the founding documents, the Declaration of Independence, the U.S. Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. If I click on that link, it's going to open up these resources. So any of the readings from our textbook that goes along with these topics, you'll find there. Copies of class notes. If you missed class and like to go and get those notes, you can access them from Blackboard. Or if you were in class and you did not quite get all the notes taken, you can access those notes there as well. As well as other resources, common ones are things such as vocabulary review games, flashcards that are pre-made that you can use, and of course a review, and eventually the practice tests will be located here as well. The last two buttons that you have here that are pertaining only to my class are Mr. Mosier On Demand and Where in Time is Little Abe. So let's check out Mr. Mosier On Demand. Mr. Mosier On Demand is a website that will house StudyCast, video tutorials, videos, and other resources that students may also access. Students will have to have their PowerSchool web ID and password to access these resources. We'll be going over this in class, and I'll also have another video tutorial that you will be able to access as well. That'll give you kind of a brief overview of how that resource works. So this is Mr. Mosier On Demand. And last but not least is Where in Time is Little Abe. Where in Time is Little Abe is a weekly competition that we do in my class. I will post a picture of our mascot, which is Little Abe, going someplace in time. And students will have a chance to take a look at that picture, and they'll have to guess where they think Little Abe is at this week. And I will select winners each Friday for prizes. This is where students will go to see the image of where Little Abe is at this week, as well as a link to fill out their submission form for where they think Little Abe is located at. So this has been a brief overview of the American History 8 Blackboard course. This is a general overview of how to access and find things that you'll need throughout the course of the year. I hope this has been very helpful for you. As always, if you have questions or need help, please come see your teacher. Thank you for listening.